Yeah, somebody just said, nobody gives a shit. And Sarah's the only one seeing her videos and they're laughing. So, yeah. And when I mentioned before about, I was smoking a little bit of pot to do with the pain. And I don't think there's anyone alive who wants to sit in my body right now and feel this. I did stop and start again a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I'm talking a tiny little bit at the end of the day sort of thing, or when I need it. So do not make the mistake of thinking it is something that it isn't. Because interestingly enough, the people pushing this narrative are methamphetamine addicts. So this is absolutely disgusting. And they're also using that as an excuse to say, oh, that's why. For example, I was walking through the kitchen and someone will try and push me over or whatever. And, I'm way past the, all this sounds insane. This is only, me putting this all information down because it is the truth. And then they'll say, oh, look, it's because she's off her head and stuff like that. I haven't even had any for weeks, so I haven't been able to use that as an excuse. Also, the eyes, they're pulling on my right eye and have done severe damage to my right eye. And whenever that happens, they get a dagger in the eye back. So, yeah, I'm very careful where I deliver it straight back to the person that dishes it. I'm not targeting anyone specifically except for who's attacking me, and sort of bouncing it back. So, yeah, they're pretty pissed off because I've sort of amped up my energy as well, and I've had plenty of activations along the way. There was an incident at Northfield where Nigel actually walked out the front and spoke to my ex-husband at the front of the house. And he says to him, oh, we want to see if this girl hits her child. And my ex-husband replies with something like, I don't care what happens to her, but I don't want my son getting hurt. And he replies to him, I'm a father, I get it. I'm a father, I get it. So this was orchestrated. They specifically, I'm assuming, because I haven't seen any of the footage, but I'm assuming by the way I've been treated out on the street that people were seeing the footage inside my home that was illegally taken and also sold on the dark web and is the reason that my son's now gone. I'm assuming that people were seeing that on purpose and just seeing the parts that they wanted them to see. And meanwhile, they affected my son's conscious and were manipulating him. So there have been certain incidents where they've taken everything out of context, absolutely everything. For example, and this just popped to mind, I was feeding Jelly yesterday and I said something like, I was giving her these little dental biscuits. And so I'm like, maybe I can smuggle these in, and you'll eat them with the rest. And straight away, alarm bells are going off. She said, maybe I can smuggle these in. Let's cut that and use it as, to frame her for something. So you can see how insidious this is and how twisted it is. And they've even orchestrated an event here at this place at Blakeview. I'm at 7 Adamson Street, Blakeview, by the way. And I do believe they're all around me, surrounding me. Where I ordered pizza for me and my son. Now, it took a really long time to arrive, and I don't order anything for myself, obviously. I don't. Anyway, I have to explain myself. So this is when my son was here, and I ordered pizza for us. It took a really long time to get here. People have been fucking with me since day dot. I don't trust any kind of food that I'm given. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting what people will do. Even my products. So my son comes out and starts berating me about how long the pizza took to get there. And I'm sort of saying, it's not my fault, honey. It came as quick as it could, like, it's here now. And he continued and continued, and I could hear this person really firing him up in the background. And my son was speaking to me like a narcissist. I'm not even kidding. This is my son who is only 13 years old and wouldn't even know, wouldn't even, conduct himself like that. A 13-year-old who has been essentially raised and manipulated by them in the background. So he kept berating me for like a while and blaming me, and then I started firing up. I have never ever laid a hand on my son before anybody jumps to that conclusion. Never would I lay a hand on my son. I would go into battle for my son. I grew him in my body. He was the best thing that ever happened to me. The happiest day of my fucking life. When he arrived, my life started. And anyone who wants to read me can clearly read that, and I would welcome it. I would welcome anyone to feel how I felt when I had my child. And the beauty in that, okay? I would absolutely welcome that. So this night when that happened, and I still have never laid a hand on my son, like before anybody goes off. Okay, my throat's gone. Yeah, this night, all I could feel coming from him was that piece of shit's energy, because it's exactly him. It's exactly the way he used to treat me. I've had relationships with at least 3 narcissists, I'm not gonna lie. You tend to be a fucking magnet for this stuff, don't you? Especially when you're an empath. They see you coming a mile away. What can I get from this person? So I felt that energy so strongly, and I've thrown a plate on the ground, and I'm not sitting here saying that I was in my right to do that. No way. I was disgusted and horrified that I even, flared up that much that I threw a plate on the ground. And yeah, the second that happened, because they're all watching, they've all got their fingers in this, they've all got their fingers in my son's head and in my head. The second that happened, I heard a man's voice call out, and I'm out in the neighborhood actually, not in my conscious field. I want her out now. So this is orchestrated to get me out of this house, which I've only been here a year. My previous house, I was in there 7 years and was very comfortable, and the best tenant they've ever had. The place never looked better. The energy was beautiful in my home. It always is. And these people had some stupid idea that the reason I was coming up with all this divine wisdom was something to do with my house and underneath the house. Can you even believe the insanity? So they took the house out from under me and put me here, knowing that they're going to kick me out and they're going to flare things up so bad that no one will ever give me another house after this. So this is where I'm at now, and this is no pity party. By no means is this a pity party, because I'm in full force, and I will go wherever I have to go, right? No possessions mean anything to me. I will drop all of it in a heartbeat. So yeah, that was all orchestrated for sure. And now that house is so barren and disgusting. The whole neighborhood. There was a house around the corner, and I am definitely posting a picture of this house because I'm extremely concerned about this one. What I saw there driving past one day, I see two men coming out of there with a van. The back of the van is up. These men were barefoot, and if anyone knows anything about Satanists and dark worshipping, they will understand what that is. These two guys, their energy was disgusting. Disgusting. Big, like fairly big guys. Bare feet. One was tying up his smelly sneaker on the back of this van. This house has been a focal point for me since I lived there, without even realising it really. In the back of my mind I wondered. But there was a bell on the gate, and I'd often hear that bell ring. I once saw somebody bringing their children out of this house. There was a swing set in the background, in the backyard as well, and yet never saw any adults coming in and out of this house, like ever. Saw a police car there once at the front of the house as well, and surprisingly now both sides of this house have been demolished, and there are 2 new units on either side. This has happened in all of these houses that I suspect, in all of these neighbourhoods, new developments. 2 on one block. Well, obviously that's not unusual, but new developments everywhere. You know where this money's coming from. It's plain as day what is going on here. Absolutely plain as day. New developments going up all over Northfield, and I know for a fact why that is. So there was an instance in Brown Street, which was the street over from my street, Sterling Street. The street next to, and these people aren't talking out loud, all right? These are private conversations happening inside their houses, actually, that I can intercept. So I'm sitting there out in the quiet, in my zone. Basically, I spend a lot of time in, I don't know if it's alpha state. It's kind of a half meditation state where you're consciously aware, I'll say. So I'm sitting there, and somebody's entered the house, and they're asking the occupants to get the deed to the house, and telling them, what's going to happen, what you do with the money. So they're extorting these houses out of people. And that is the same house, I believe, where I heard this little girl was ripped from her mother's arms and held in this house and was crying. And at the time, didn't know if this was real, if I was going crazy, if this was a staged event to try and discredit me, have me say something about it so that they could discredit me and say, look, we made this up and this was fake. She thinks it's real, so her trafficking situation is not real. I'm sorry, but if that's the case, these people are really mentally disturbed, extremely mentally disturbed, and they're responsible for serious child psychological abuse, doing that to a child, because what I've heard was reprehensible, absolutely reprehensible, and this child was psychologically abused and will never understand. The house next to that on the corner is kind of a pinnacle in the street, I guess. Like, they seem like they've been there forever. I kind of thought they were nice people. Not sure if they're involved in this, because I did hear them doing some darker stuff, them calling out, wake up, it's your turn to target her, she's going to bed. So when I go to sleep is when things amp up and they start targeting me and pulling me out of my body and stuff like that. Now, this isn't normally allowed, especially when you stand in your power, right? So someone's allowing this to happen. This goes at a higher level. Someone's actually allowing this to happen. And I have given no consent for that. I've made that very clear. And they could not debate me on this at all. And they won't. If they were to sit and have a debate with me about this, they would be running off with their tail between their legs, because they know what they've done here. They know exactly what they've done here. And I'm also hearing this stupid comment like, sacrificing me is worth it for the greater good. And I'm sorry, sacrificing a mother and a child is not going to create anything but trauma and horror, ever. You cannot build anything on the back of abuse, ever. Nothing good. So, like I said, they can't debate me on this at all, because they know I'm fucking right. They know it, and they know what they've done. And it is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. These people have tried to set me up as an informant as well. And I know that for a fact, because I've pieced that together when Nigel ripped me out of bed at like 2 or 3 in the morning and said, oh, why don't you get up and I've made you a cup of tea or something like this. So, proceed to get up, and he tells me, oh, you hear all the sirens going off around the neighborhood? And I'm thinking, I'm not really sure what's going on here. So I am concerned, very concerned, that they've tried to have me hit for something that somebody else has done. All right? Once again, this could be a complete psyop or psychological, event, whatever. There's a group of people sitting across the road at Northfield, a girl, a man, a couple of other people that didn't speak, and this guy's saying to her, oh, you need to know how much you are loved. And she's sort of saying, oh, why don't I feel things like this girl does? And, just rubbish stuff like that. So I've done a little bit of, I don't know, I'm getting a message about mimics, all right? So they're emotionless, copycat type things. They don't have emotions. And in some stupid way, I feel like, okay, this is speculation, so when I say I feel like, that's not the right term. What was being put forward was that she was trying to learn off me. And she walks off to her car and says, I'll see you at the beach, to them, and laughed and giggled and drove off. Now, this beach comment got me thinking, because Nigel took me to the beach a few times actually, and once, this is just so gross. I don't know how deep I can go on this. We're walking along the beach. It's night. There's no one around, like secluded. And I hear someone say to him, that's the house, stop there. So we stopped and we're sitting in the sand near this like big 2-story mansion. And I hear someone say to him, this is the house Sarah wants to set up as a party house, to buy and set up as a party house. Something's going on with my sexual energy being siphoned, and I'm not the only one. This has happened to other people. This is what they do. This happened back at Northfield. There were sexual cords attached to me, and somebody came in energetically during an experience and basically asked, wanted to check out my sexual energy. And next thing I know, I was out to it. So I'm not the only one. Please believe me, I am not the only person that this has happened to. Other people have lost their battles with this. I know that, and they're on the other side. I've heard a conversation in the 2-story house one night with this young girl that was living there, having a conversation with a female, and this female is insidious, absolutely insidious. See, I can feel people when I hear their voices, and that's why they're obstructing mine right now, is so that people can't actually read me correctly. And I have a really strong grip around my throat right now, so I'm sure my voice is coming through really bad, but I'm still going to keep speaking. I hear this female saying, and her energy is disgusting, like trash, saying, I want her to suffer. Now, I have never shit on anybody. I treat people with respect and dignity and honor, and I'm being literally tortured and killed right now, so they're not going to get any politeness from me. Do not mistake that at all to, how I conduct myself regularly. So I'm hearing this conversation play out, and this girl's saying, are you sure you want to do this to this kid? You know what's going to happen to him, right? And she says, well, what's going to happen? And she says, he's possibly going to be abused and trafficked. And she goes, I don't care. I want her to suffer. And another conversation I heard her have was regarding some females taking care of my son. Are you sure the girl's going to be able to take care of him? The girls have assured me that they can, yes. These girls are prostitutes, meth heads, and insidious parasites that take from people, all right? They have nothing going for them, so they take it from others. They siphon people, whether or not it's not them personally. Like, these people are losers, they're stupid, they're dullards. Like, every day, I cannot believe the stupidity. In fact, I've even thought, this is the torture, right? Surrounding me with this stupid, like they're beating their heads against a brick wall every day. It's lunacy. And, yeah, I've often thought that that's got to be the torture. With all the other stuff aside, I mean, that kind of tips you over the edge, having to listen to that daily. The same stuff. And I really don't know what this piece of shit is trying to get from me. And she's been searching for something. Back when I was at Northfield, there were so many conversations of them trying to tell her, like, look, it's not there. I don't know what you're looking for. It's not there. And she's like, there must be something. There must be something that this girl's done. So I don't know if she just wants some sort of evidence to make herself feel better that she's done this to me, or I don't know. I really don't know. But they're looking for something, something dark that they can pull out into the open. I'm wide open here. I am absolutely wide open. And the minute I said that back at Northfield too, I used to walk around my house screaming, like going off my head at them and having these conversations with it, throwing down to them. And man, did the bums sit in the seats, I'll tell you what, when I started throwing down to them. Yeah, it's like, sit the fuck down. So I used to walk around my house, going off. Of course, they were, torturing me psychologically. So I was responding. I'm like, fuck you, I'm not going to sit in the corner and rock back and forth like you want me to. You want a battle? Get in the ring. But they won't actually do that. They'll do it, like, in the shadows, like creeps, like losers, weak-ass losers. I'm not sure if that audio is going to be any good. I just turned the fan off. So yeah, when I was telling them that I'm wide open for reading, and I was going off my head around the house saying, you might want to go and see a psychic if you don't believe this has actually happened to us. Kind of implying that this is the truth, and if you proceed with this, it is going to come out. I'm going to make damn sure of it. And yeah, they didn't like that at all. And I specifically know that's when they started hiring psychics or bribing them. I don't know how it works, but suffice to say, they've mentioned a few times that Sarah's made so much money off me. Or they have. They're using her as a front And I think there's many Sarahs, but there's definitely one attached to my conscious, and she is an absolute pig. A pig. She's in 20s or 30s, so she's young, but absolute psychopath. And I think she's posing as something completely opposite. Yeah, when I basically said that, straight away, I could feel them peddling, like, we need to fix this. If anyone starts reading her, we're fucked. So I do believe they've been paying psychics to lie as well, to try and build this narrative. And then that wasn't enough, that they started going higher than that. So there's definitely something that they want from me, and they want to give it to her. And I'm sorry, but that's just not the way things work. And I don't even care who you are. Like, that's not the way things work. And you're never going to get away with that. And involving a child who has already suffered enough in that is, like, reprehensible. I'm sorry. Like,